Hello, welcome back to the Near Spiritual Awakening podcast with Dr. Val. And in today's very special episode, I have an incredible woman on the show. Welcome to the podcast, Anita Toy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Val. It's really exciting to be here. I know everyone says that. "Oh, it's so exciting to be here, but I'm genuinely feeling quite excited to be on the other side because I've interviewed you on my podcast and that was some time ago. We haven't spoken for a little while.
Exactly. That was like a while ago, maybe a year ago, even.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, we both
And
have different hair. So,
I
yeah.
know. That's right. We both have different hair, but also I'm just present to the difference of my life now versus then.
Right.
And that
Exactly.
yeah, that was such an interesting time for me. And I know you've gone through, I mean, you've gone through some changes as well in your life. So I am excited. You're right. It's very exciting to reconnect and with you.
100%. I think, was I even living in New Zealand at that time, perhaps? Um,
No.
yeah,
I think you were
I was
I
here.
think you were in Queensland, but yeah,
Anyway, a lot's
it was just
happened.
exactly. But look, I'll let you introduce yourself like I said I would. So please introduce yourself to the listeners so they get the full as much as they can about who you are. Who's Anita Toy?
Goodness me. That's a question my initial response is like a little bit uncomfortable because I'm quite a private person, actually. I'm a Piscean. I have lots and lots of water in my chart, predominantly water. And I've recently learned something about us watery folk, and that is that we love to be nonverbal at times, to be,
Mm,
in our own sort of dreamy space of who we are without bounds, without boundaries, without labels, without categories. And I think that that's really a space that I feel happiest. So putting it to words is actually quite difficult for me.
wow.
Um, Having said that, I'm a mum of two beautiful children, and I guess that's one of the most important things in my life. Um, I'm a coach and a mentor, I guess, a guide. Um, I work with people who are really going through their own awakening experience, and I help guide them along that path through various different coaching modalities, but also using the tools of human design, a little bit of astrology, bit of astrogeography, even, and yeah, some pretty amazing energetic healing techniques as well. So yeah, I guess as I go forward in my work, I've come from quite a logical scientific background. I was once a naturopath and a practicing nutritionalist and medical herbalist. And I've morphed more into, I feel like my journey has even gone sort of body, mind, and spirit. And I'm 50 now and I'm really starting to branch into this spiritual side of things a lot more and claim the label, which has been um, tainted in some way, like so many other beautiful words. um, so I guess who I am at the moment in my own evolution is someone who is really wanting to grab hold of that word spirituality and ground it down and bring
Mm,
it back to earth and um and really communicate a message to people that it can be part of your everyday life without the mala beads, the feathers, the crystals, going to the festivals, whatever it is.
yes. Oh my gosh. Like you have no idea how in line what you've just said is with the previous, I think. I mean, the whole podcast actually, there's this like always, it's been every guest, whatever their background or whoever they are, has been saying this, what you just said in their own iteration, of course, but like literally connecting, maybe it's because it's the Neuro Spiritual Awakening podcast, it kind of connects
Aha,
the three
maybe.
D, the spirituality, so everybody speaks to that, but or whatever, right? I'm not going to go into the details of it, but it's just like it is very important. It's been a topic that's been talked about, so I'm just really glad that you brought us there once again. And it's because it is important. And um, the importance of also the people that you work with, like the who are you letting in, who are you letting guide you, like discernment. We've talked about that with some of my guests, but I'm just really, really excited that that's what you're about because well, hey, it's important and I'm into that as
Is.
well.
I know, and I know you're into it, and and I think it's a testimony to you that you're drawing in others like us who are bringing this stuff to light right now. It is really important. And there are some big names in this space. I'm thinking of Laura and Bernhardt at the moment who are really on this bandwagon and have been for a long time too. But there is a lot of us with much smaller profiles, much quieter presences who are also saying the same thing. So it's a movement. It's a whole consciousness, I think, movement that a lot of us, I'm not getting those words out well, aren't I? But
No, you are,
there's
you
a lot
really
of us
are.
kind of in tune with this at the moment, and I feel it's what's needed, in this world that's spiraling off into technology that we've never seen before, all this AI stuff. You mentioned the word discernment. I mean, this is absolutely key to our ability now to stay grounded and to move forward,
Yes.
and stay human. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm with you. Absolutely. Yes, yes. And like not to completely push back this novel technology. Actually, the guy that I had in the last episode, he's like a mathematical genius who's creating these machines. So straight away I was like, "Oh, well,
Amazing.
these machines are killing people." And he was like, well,
Oh,
let's talk about let's look at how they're not. So I'm kind of like I can see the duality of it also, and my immediate pushback to the novelty, like, oh, all the like that, but it's not like that. It's not bad or good. It's just, as you say, how do we learn to live and co-evolve and co-inhabit and create beauty ultimately going forward, having technologies in our life. Yeah.
good point. I mean, I think it's not going away. That's the first thing to recognize. We're going into the age of Aquarius. So it's all technology, right? Um, so it is a matter of how do we use it consciously? How do we mindfully approach this topic? And your last podcast guest sounds fascinating. I haven't yet had a chance to listen, but I will do that after this chat we have because it's wonderful that you've had discussions with people on that side of things as well. It's not my forte, I'd be quite happy in the woods without a phone, just kind of existing in a much more simple way. But I'm really happy to hear that there are people who are very awake and consciously aware on the technology side of things as well. And I'm certain that there is a lot of development that's going on right now that we don't even know about that's coming from the light side as well. So it is an exciting time. It's moving really quickly, and in some ways, I can't even imagine how the next few years are going to look.
Oh, it's wild. I mean, certainty is an illusion. Uncertainty is kind of uncomfortable, but it is reality. So I'm constantly like rewiring my brain for it, or trying to.
Yeah, and that's something that fortunately you really know how to do and know how to help people with that rewiring process that happens in the brain from the neuroscience point of view, because of course uncertainty brings fear. And it's not comfortable to sit in these spaces, is it?
Mm-mm. But hey, the age of the Aquarius. Hey, I love that you're really into astrology now too, because the last time we spoke, I don't remember, but I don't think we even said anything. Because neither was I, but now I'm really dabbling in it. Like I'm looking at, I had my reading. I'm like,
Great. Yeah.
and now I'm like really into, and I'm a Cancer sun, so, and I've got a bunch of like placements in there. And then I was like, oh, I'm all water. But then when I looked at the placements, I've actually got predominantly fire sign. And this is just not my sun. But I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I was actually looking at your charts before we jumped on this chat just to remind myself. And yeah, of course, like I mean you're actually really well balanced with your elemental placements. I tend to have like quite a lot of water and not much fire at all, and little earth even, which, but my moon is it is an earth sign, so that really, really helps ground me. But yeah, your elements are like quite well balanced, and it is a really exciting thing to dive into that I've always had an interest in, but it's so interlinked with human design, and it's so appealing to my personal design and my personal astrology natal chart too, to really get in there and dig around a bit. And I think the last time we spoke, we were both into the numbers, right? You were
Yes.
learning numerology? Yeah,
Yes, I'm still fascinated, and I'm literally implementing numerology in my day-to-day life. So it's become more
incredible.
like as a way of living rather than this fascination, you know? So I'm like clear on your numbers and well, the ones that I know. And obviously, I don't know all of your numbers, but just like like your life path being a 33-6 and like my
Yeah,
life path being a 38-11 like master numbers, like obviously that energy, the wisdom and the learnings and the kind of life that we live. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely still into that. But now I can also see, this is the cool part, as you see the link between astrology and human design, every time I look at someone's natal chart, the numerology also pops in. And I'm like, of course this person has all these placements because they're so like it's so cool. I love, and then I can link them back to neuroscience as well in my own kind of special way because that is an area of expertise for me. So
of
I really
course.
love the multi-dimensional nature of that's really present for me in life right now. Yeah.
I love hearing that. And in human design, of course, we both share the fact that we're a manifesting generator type. And this is part of the reason why we absolutely love, both of us, to bounce around between all of these different topics and ideas, and to find connections and see what takes our interest for a little while and then bounce around to something else. And it's, finding out your human design type as a man, Jan, really gives that permission slip to be able to do that.
Totally. Totally. And like, I think when we had spoken last, I'm always using that as a reference point, but whatever. If the people on this podcast that are listening to the podcast are like, I don't know what they're talking about, you should definitely listen to, I don't know what episode that was, but I know it
we
is
can
the
put we can put a link in the notes or something.
yes,
Yeah. Mm.
yes. We'll put that down in the notes, and people can go to your podcast and listen to all the amazing episodes that you have hosted. But I was just like so new to human design. Like what you said to me completely clicked and resonated. But then I started looking more into it, and I found out that I'm a 6'2" profile, and then I like really dug into that, and I'm like really owning that. I'm really proud to be a 6'2" profile. I'm just like, because it also makes sense. Like it also completely makes sense to how my life has been and is, unveiling, if you will. So
I
I'm
love
kind of
it.
like, I'm really proud. I'm a proud 6'2".
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I think that's the joy in it is, I mean, I remember when I first looked into it, I actually thought I was going to be a projector. Just the way that I'd read the descriptions, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a projector for sure. And I wasn't. I was a manifesting generator. And then down the track through my studies, I found out there's a particular channel that I have defined that can lead people with that channel to feel quite projectorish. And there's certain aspects around that. So it goes as deep as you want to take it. When people are learning human design, um, you can just take it at the level of learning your energy type, learning about your aura and how your energy works. There's only 5 types. They're all different, and each type has a particular strategy, which is exactly what it sounds like, a strategy for life, for optimal energy flow
Mm,
and functioning. And then I think the other really key element is learning your authority. I can't remember yours off. Were you emotional, sacral?
I believe I'm sacral. I'm gonna have to look again. I haven't, I looked at it yesterday, but I don't remember it off by heart.
You are sacral. I just
Oh,
checked.
oh,
Yes.
good.
So, so we are
What?
very different, you and I, even though we're manifesting generators, your authority and authority refers to the way that you're designed to make decisions. Yours is sacral based, so it's a very in the moment connection to your truth, to what's right for you, to what feels good to you at the gut level. So for you, it's that, in the moment hit in your body, like, yes, that's what I want. I'm moving towards that, or no. And it might feel like a visceral contraction almost, or a leaning back, or a guarding, or the opposite, leaning in, this expansion and this warmth in your belly. Um, which is beautiful. I get a lot of FOMO around sacral authority. I wish I had it. Because my type, the emotional authority, is, you can probably hear it in the way that I speak. It's very emotional based. It's a lot of feelings. And um, my decision making can take a lot of time depending on what the decision is. Obviously, quick day to day things, it's just a quick feel into it. But if it's a really big decision in my life, um, emotional types have a built in mechanical emotional wave that needs to run through. We don't want to be making decisions at the height of that wave when everything's, amplified and excited, and we feel um, bubbly and energized and social. And we don't want to be making decisions at the trough or the bottom of that wave when perhaps we're the opposite. We're melancholy, we're slow, we're withdrawn.
Mm,
We want to make sure that that wave has time to, play itself out, and that there becomes this neutral sort of feeling about whatever the decision is, so that over time it's like a, yeah, that's still, it feels like a yes, or you know what, no. And it's not, for emotional types, it is not the hell yes or the hell no. So,
mm.
when I
Like
hear
it
that
is for
band
me.
in, exactly,
Like it is
exactly.
for
And
me.
yeah. And so
Yeah,
before
yeah.
human design was common, there was a lot of talk around, in just the, pop psychology, self-development world. It was like, it has to be a hell yes or a hell no. And when I learnt human design, of course, I realized, no, that's only for a very small percentage of the population. That's for you for sure, but it's not for me. It's never going to feel like that gut hit, that firework sort of thing. It's going to be much more subtle and mundane.
It's
Yeah.
so amazing. I mean, I haven't, yeah, I didn't even know any of this. So I'm so like, I'm just learning from what you're saying. It's really incredible. And again, it resonates and it makes so much sense. And it's very like, yay. It's very like,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, no, and I'm really happy to hear that, because I think one of the biggest gifts in it is learning how we relate to one another. So it's the human design really teaches you so much about dynamics between people. And so um, if, for example, well, I'll give an example of a friend of mine who has emotional authority like I do. Her daughter had sacral authority like yourself, and they were trying to make a decision about which high school to go to. Had
Hmm.
done a couple of tours. Her daughter had that sacral response, knew in the moment, yep, I want to go. And her mother freaked out and went, oh, 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 no, no, we just need to give it time. We need to just feel it out. We'll give it a couple of weeks. Da, da, da. And that was her responding correctly with her emotional authority, because that pressure of in the moment is too much for her. But for her daughter, she knew in the moment what she wanted. And um, what actually happened was it ended up creating doubt and confusion in the daughter, because there wasn't this understanding of how each person makes decisions. So it was amazingly sort of a revelation for me to explain to her that the daughter knew, and she needed to trust that.
Mm.
And
What a
then for
gift.
her, yeah, and then the it works the opposite way too, so that people with sacral definition can sometimes, without knowing it, put a lot of pressure on others to make decisions like in the moment, because they're great at it.
Mm. Mm.
But if you did that to me, for example, I'd be backing away pretty fast, getting freaked out, because
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so I've learned to say, Thank you so much. I'll think about it. I'll
Oh,
get
it's
back to
so
you.
beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm like my brain's exploding now because I want to look at my kids' charts. They're both generators of, I think one's a 5-1 and the other one is a 1-4. Both
Beautiful.
generators. But I need to look at what
Yeah.
you're talking about now because that would make such a difference to me in the way that I parent them because I am very much
Yeah.
like yes or no. And some people, you know what? It's very interesting that's coming up because some people mistake that for like masculine energy. I've had a couple of people mention that to me. Not that I'm not responsible for that too. Like I know that I can be in the masculine woman template a lot just because of my conditioning, my upbringing. So it's something that I'm at work on, you know what I mean? Literally daily being like, okay, let's create this little feminine ritual or let the inner child play. So I've started skateboarding again, you know, doing fun things
Oh,
just so it's
fun.
not
Yeah.
all just like go, 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 like
Okay.
very emperor type energy, if you will.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
but now that you mention my sacral authority, that kind of I feel less judgy about the whole thing now because yeah, I just you know what like you know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like I'm all masculine, but not
No,
really.
well, it could, yeah, exactly. A part of this might be literally that you have that gift and it's about trusting it. Yeah.
So
There's
cool.
and there's so many elements. I mean, we could pull your chart apart and
I'll just book a
yeah.
reading with you and then we'll talk about that offline because now I'm all like you know, I'm all
Yeah,
excited about it now.
but
But tell me,
you did
yeah.
make a great point about parenting because this is a tool that I wish I'd had when my children were little. You know, they're older now, they're 20 and 18. And it's been incredibly helpful for us now at this stage anyway. But yeah, to be able to raise children with this basic information about their energy type, their strategy, and the way that they make decisions, and to be able to honor that and encourage that. Wow. I mean, what a gift.
Literally, literally, literally. Yay. Okay. So before we run out of time, because I'm like, this could be 30 minutes, but now I could see this going for like 3 hours. So I'm just like, I'm like, okay. But let's rewind a little bit. So tell me about your awakening process, the flavor of it. Was it like a big boom or like was it a gradual thing? And I'll let you speak now because I this is something I ask of every guest. Like, how was it for you? And in episode 1 of this podcast, I shared kind of, yeah, I knew, but then there was this particular experience that literally lifted the veil for me. And then from then, there was no going back from that. So that was for me. But what about you?
I love that. Yeah. And you touch on something that I think most people I've spoken to on this topic find the same thing, and that is that the door is one way. It it doesn't tend to be a revolving door of awakening and then, oh no, I think I'll just go back to sleep. You're right. You know, it's that door opens and you realize something goes off in your brain and you're like, holy crap, I'm not going back. You
Yeah.
can't unsee what you see.
Literally, it is like riding a bicycle. I think on a neural level, on a neuroplasticity level, it's like once you've created that loop for the awakening loop in your brain, it's there. It's like it's now active.
I love that from the neuroscience perspective. That makes so much sense. Yes, so for me, it's a blend. It's a blend of not one particular big moment, several big moments, but layered on top of me being born into this world as a very highly sensitive, empathic child who felt everything, who was merging with the unseen world at a young age. I saw ghosts, I saw fairies, I heard things, um, and so I knew at some level that things weren't exactly as they appeared on the surface and things weren't exactly as I was being told. There was a misalignment for me between sort of the stuff that was coming out of adults' mouths and my school teachers and things like that and what I sensed and felt. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my very early life experience. And unfortunately, through the process of mainstream schooling, I felt like that was squashed and banged out of me somewhat, or at least suppressed for some time. and then that's come back into my life later. But it got put away in a little box so that I was able to function in mainstream schooling system and tick the boxes and do the things. And it never felt good. You know, I was bored, I was unfulfilled, uh, it was a drag. But I didn't really have an alternative at the time. I was probably the kind of kid that would have thrived at a Steiner or a Montessori school or something like that. But, you know,
Yeah.
I'd be playing amazing cello by now if I'd gone that way, but I don't.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah. Yeah.
you know, I did the whole mainstream thing and, yeah, it all went on hold for a little while, that whole side of myself. And yet there was this kind of rebellious anarchist piece that remained through and definitely grew through my teenage years as well. So I had this streak. You know, I was very like quiet and sort of almost passive looking from the outside. And then I had this inner fire, this like burning kind of rebellious, you know, I'd sneak out of my bedroom window at night and run off to parties and I was naughty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it
And I was
comes with it. I can relate. Like, I was actually really good at school. Like, I was always top student, but then there was like this rebellious nature as well.
I
Just
love
because
it.
I'm,
Yeah.
yeah, but tell me more.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like that too, like this dual kind of personality almost. And um, because there was a restlessness and an unsettled questioning the whole time. Um, and I used to sit in classes and think, what a load of crap they're talking, you know. And that even extended through into university. You know, I've done a lot of study. I have 2 degrees, a couple of diplomas, lots and lots of certificates in various things. And I I really was never in a full program where I felt like I could believe everything that I was being taught. I would often sit in class, you know, even studying naturopathy. There were times where I'd be sitting there going, no, I don't no, I don't buy this. Like where is the heart in this? You know, because naturopathy, when I first started studying it, it was very connected to the traditions, the holistic, the um yeah, traditional herbalism sort of um and it moved, it morphed, you know, over a 10-year period because I had children in between, I had to change colleges, I moved countries. So I ended up my naturopathy degree ended up being a 10-year process with 3 different
Wow.
colleges and having to backtrack and go over things and yeah, it was crazy. But what I got to see during that decade was this huge transition from traditional holistic to very mainstream, very allopathic based, but just using herbs and nutrients instead of pharmaceuticals.
Hmm.
But it was very much treat the symptoms.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could see how they were eking out of um, you know, the hermetic principles that it all started with and like treating the cause and talking about the mind, body and spirit as a whole. And became more kind of symptom based and um, protocol based and all around the treatments. And of course the treatments are linked to money and profit and pharmaceutical companies were buying the herbal companies and the nutrient companies and you know so
Yeah.
that was a big period of questioning for me, particularly when I saw that certain herbs were literally pulled off the shelf by governing bodies for them being dangerous, and there was no basis for it. You know, these were really good herbs that would help support liver and, you know, various systems of the body. And they would find one sort of dodgy half-assed study that you know it hurt a rat in
Yeah.
and they'd
Yeah. Yeah.
pull
Yeah.
that herb and I was like something's really going on here, this is
Yeah.
not, you know, they're making it really tough for natural practitioners is what I was sensing. And yeah, so that was a bit of an awakening. And then I guess a really big one for me was 9/11.
Mm.
Yeah, so I walked into a room and the television was on. I can't even remember specifically where I was, which is odd because most people get, that exact location, who they're with. All I remember is the television, people in the room. I walked in, I saw the footage. It was absolutely shocking. And at the same time, I had this inner voice that said, that's not real.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it is. There's something wrong. And
Mm.
so I didn't know what to do with that at the time, because it was first and foremost a massive shock to our nervous systems. And then there was that wave of fear that spread around the world, and then all the consequences that went on. And I guess that was the first time that, well, it was everything changed, didn't it, at that
Mm.
point?
Mm.
Um, so it was only later, I started diving into some documentaries around that zeitgeist and those sort of early conspiratorial documentaries. And I really started to, um, some of the stuff I'd even learned in my studies during my arts degree, because I did an arts degree and did super random subjects like the Salem witch trials, classical
Wow.
Greek, um, classical Greek studies with like death and burial rituals. I did one on the Knights Templar. I did, all sorts of
Wow. That's
lots of
so
art
interesting because
history.
I did a science and arts degree as well. And in my arts component, I took very similar things. I took like evolution of consciousness, like really
Yes,
interesting
yes,
things.
yes. I did
Yeah.
some philosophy as well. That just at the time it was just the most random collection of things that just appealed to me. But it's been like a breadcrumb journey, and so later on, these things have all started to make sense, and I'm starting to see threads between them. And yeah, so I guess that got me into a couple of rabbit holes. But then, life went on, and I was a mum, and I had, a lot of other things to deal with. So it really wasn't until 2020 when the next big bang came. And of course, I knew straight away. I just had a really strong sense in my body that something was wrong, something was off. At first, I thought it was a joke. I couldn't believe that I was kind of almost
Yeah.
laughing and joking about what was happening at the very beginnings of it. And then I stopped laughing and my face dropped and I was like, oh my God, they're serious.
Yeah.
They're rolling this shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so that was a big one. And that's when I really had to um, grow a lot and stand strong and grow into the person I am today. That's very, yeah, it was a big time. Yeah. A great
Yeah.
time in a
Yeah.
way.
It was for the like for the track that we're on. Like it completely changed the human trajectory, that's for sure. At least this
It
iteration
did.
of it.
I
We can
mean,
talk about many different timelines and all that stuff, but we're definitely not on the same
yeah.
timeline as we were on before that happened. So I'm very much attuned to that. And like yourself, for me, what I was just like, this is a joke. Like, come on, you can't. And like people literally, because I was working or I don't know what I was doing, but a lot of people were turning to me because I'm a scientist, right? So a lot of people would turn to me and be like, "Is this like, is this a real bad virus that's gonna kill the planet?"
How
And
bad is it,
I
right?
was like,
Yeah.
"It's not. Like, you can't possibly." I'm like, "Just stop." I literally just like would brush people off, or I would be like, "No," like just that would be my only answer, just no, it's we're not, you know. But then, as you like yourself, when like when people started believing more and more, I was just like, are you delusional? Like, what is to me, there was this kind of like
Yeah.
it wasn't a feisty reaction. I wasn't like, oh my God, you guys are all idiots. It wasn't like that. It was more like, what the hell? Like, are you okay? Like, how can you be going along with this shit? This is insanity,
Yeah.
right? Like, what? Yeah. But
And that
anyway,
was that was
yeah.
the really interesting part, wasn't it? And when was it Matthias Desmet who came out with the um stuff around the 30% of the population who just saw it, and
Mm, yeah. I don't know the
30% who went
research, but
fully off the cliff, and then the rest of them were kind of like just dragged with the current.
Yeah.
But for those of us in that initial, if it was 30%, I'm not sure, but who just saw it straight away for what it was, it was really challenging because I mean, I had many times initially where the sense of what was real to me was so strong, but yet because everyone else was kind of moving with that current, it was really, really difficult to stand your ground and I had many times where I'm like, am I the crazy one? Am I the
Mm.
one who's lost my mind? You know, and I think that was a good thing to ask myself. It was a good question.
Yeah. Wow. I went on top of that, I was going through a separation in 2020 as well. It was very like there was so much learning that I'd done since then. Like now that, here we
Huge.
are 5 years on, and I'm just like, wow, that was like lifetimes ago to me. It's not like it didn't just disappear. Like I'm not like, oh, COVID, but I'm like, oh my gosh, that was just who I was. Again, just like who I was last year when we spoke at first is like vastly different. It seems like I've lived so many possible outcomes, and here is it's wild.
So
Yeah.
much growth. And like you, I was going through something big because I got stuck in a different country to my children at that time. And we were separated for a year. So there was this whole conundrum of desperately trying to get back to my kids, but also wanting to speak truth. Um, however, not wanting to be too visible and vocal in case that somehow prevented me from reaching my kids. You know, it was a uh, yeah, a fine balance. I ended up pulling myself off social media at that time entirely, and I wrote an underground newsletter to my followers, and I ran a um, like a private Telegram group for 150 people, supporting them through that whole process of being able to stand strong in who they were during that time. But it was something, yeah, I kind of did on the quiet. So, yeah.
Yes. Wow. I love that. I love it. I love that side. So cool. And okay, well, and now what? So where are you now with what's happening in your life and what next? And yeah, I'm just really curious.
Cool. I'm in an exciting phase of life now. So, as a line six, I've
Oh,
just
you're a line
stepped
6 too?
into,
What?
yes.
Hang on,
So,
are you a 6 too
I'm a,
as well?
no, I'm a 4 6.
Oh my gosh, I love 4 6s. I coach a couple of 4 6s. So I'm just like, I've
Beautiful.
looked into
Yeah.
that and it's very exciting. So yes,
Yeah.
yay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've just stepped into my sort of role model phase. So, for anyone with a line six, you're not late to the party, you're not behind the times, you know, the best, most incredible blooming part of your life could well happen from 50 onwards. So something to look forward to. Yeah, so I feel like I'm in that energy now. I feel like I'm really ready to embrace this more sort of wise woman part of myself, to share, to contribute, and guide as many people as possible who are aligned to the work that I'm doing. Um, so yes, I have a sort of a 3-step process in the way that I work with people. I help them get clear on what it is they're wanting to create in their lives, because I think, I guess my big thing is really helping people step into their own power as creators. I think that's my little gift to the way forward, if you like. And so reconnecting people with that power that they have, that's innate, that they were born with, that little fractal of the divine spark, if you like, enables them to create what they want, to set a goal that's aligned really with their heart. So I'm not talking about necessarily smart goals. Not that there's anything wrong with that approach, but you know, I've sort of done that side of coaching, and for me now the work is a lot deeper, a lot more heart based, a lot more aligned to their soul, and so we work together to create something, and then getting them in alignment with their human design, their astrology, the way that they function as a human, having a spiritual experience, I guess, and then start to remove the blocks that stand in the way of that. So the exciting work that I've just started incorporating into that in terms of the removal of blocks to get people to their desired goal, desired creation, is so mind-blowing and so multidimensional that we get to dive into past lives, parallel future lives, ancestral
So
lineage, trauma and blocks.
exciting.
Yeah,
So
it's
exciting.
really um it is really exciting. And I really love that energetic spiritual work now, but I'm also very grounded about it and I'm very ethical about it. There's a huge amount of protocol that goes on with it and very careful who and what I interact with. So it's really based on higher self to higher self. I'm not calling in other things.
Yeah.
Um,
So important.
yeah,
Oh, I just love that. It's so important. I'm so in alignment with what you're saying and what you bring and the groundedness of it. It's just so, so, so important, as we were saying at the start, just because
yeah.
in this day and age, my goodness, you can really.
Yeah, I mean, you can get stuck in some wild, wild things and get taken out of body and invite things into your energy that then cause all sorts of problems. I mean, it's a minefield out there.
It literally
So
is a
we have to be really
minefield.
careful. Yeah.
Mm, mm. Oh, so good. I'm so thrilled that you're offering this, to the world. It's such a blessing. Yeah, such a
Thank
blessing.
you.
Mm.
Thank you. And, the work that you do also, it's what I love and what I really celebrate in my work is how different we all are and it's about bringing our unique gifts to the fore, and everyone has something to offer.
Isn't it incredible? And as you say, I'm learning this just to respect and honor pe the differences between people. Like there's no right. I know it sounds trivial, but and I've said this before, but it's different actually living that way, right? Literally being like, oh my goodness, I'm judging this person because they're
Yeah.
different from me. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but then, yeah.
And this is the whole basis around unity. This hot topic at the moment of unity versus divisiveness, and what the outside world is continually trying to divide and conquer. But the unity requires so much inner work from us because it requires us to bring together all the parts of ourselves that we've rejected and judged and renounced, and to integrate that in union within ourselves first and foremost, so that we can do that with others.
Yes, and then reflect that into this
Into the world. Yeah.
here, whatever this is. I'm like, I can't even
Whatever
call
this
it,
is,
whatever
I don't
this
know
is
what
out
shape it
here.
is.
Yeah. I'm like, it's all a construction of my brain process. So I'm kind of like, I'm not even saying the matrix. I'm not even saying 3D.
Yeah.
I'm just these things.
I like that. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Well, Anita, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's been such a nourishing conversation for myself, and I hope for the listeners as well. In fact, I'm sure hope is not even a thing. I'm sure of it. Even though hope is my motivation. Hey.
Love it. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, I'm just really, really, really grateful. And anywhere you want to be found that people can find you.
Sure, yeah. So my website is spirituallygrounded.love and my Instagram is the same. I have a Substack, which is spiritually grounded. And yeah, I'll share all those links with you. You can pop them in there. I do a podcast as well that I have been a little bit slow with this year, but it's still simmering away. I like
Yeah.
to write, and I would love to hear from anyone who's interested in connecting with me. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well,
And
thank you
thank you.
so.
I want to thank you so much for this conversation. It's been delightful and heartwarming, and love the work you're doing.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'll pop all that in the show notes. And to the listeners, thanks for tuning in and share this, subscribe, and you never know whose awakening journey you might contribute to by doing that. Until next time.